Hello, nice to meet you, Joe. My name is Heidi, and once again, I don't think I have the right mic set up. Oh no, I do. Look at me go. Okay, I'm back. Hello, hi everyone. So weird doing a week without an AMA. It's like such a routine. It's almost hard to not do it. If that it sounds like a weird addiction, and it kind of is in a way. But anyways, thank you all for your kind words. I did. A team member messaged me and was like, "Hey, you watching AMA?" I was like, absolutely not. No, I'm trying really hard not to actually. And he was like, well, you should. So anyways, yeah, okay. Today, we'll go through some stuff. As always, if you have questions, throw them in the YouTube live chat or the Twitter live chat. And let's bring up Luke.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, ignore the location behind me. I'm like literally off grid in the desert. I drove like 6 hours into here because I just wanted to lock in and do some work. I'm literally here solo by myself with a Starlink off grid setup. But yeah, no, excited to do this AMA today, guys. So we'll go over a few things today. One of the things that we'll go over is kind of like future of what we're doing here at Pixels. I want to give you guys some insights into like what we're thinking, how we're building. Especially when it comes to the Pets app too. Like there's some sneak peeks I can maybe show you about like the process. And I think it'll help you guys make sense of like, where we think Web3 gaming is at right now, what our plans for the future are, right? Like how we break out of this like weird little like mini downturn cycle of Web3 gaming. Like really, the space has not been excited about like Web3 gaming since really the Pixels launch, or maybe since like, a few months after there was like a little hype that Pixels TGE had went through. And what we need to figure out together as like players, as founders, as chains is how we get to the next stage or the next level of getting back to like 1 million real DAU inside of Web3 games. And there's a lot of work to do to actually make that happen, right? So we'll kind of give you guys our thoughts and our strategy on what we're planning. We keep doing this in every AMA. And then what we're also going to start to do is we'll give like a little bit more insight into chapter 3 and what we're thinking there. We'll give an update on timelines, and we'll also kind of go and like explain a little bit more about offers too. But Heidi, I know there's stuff that you want to run through first, so let's get through that, and then we'll kind of get into some of that meat.
Let's do it. So I'm going to share my screen and let's just go through the announcement that we posted yesterday about some fun new games coming to the Neon Zone. Let me zoom in here. Yeah, so new games. We've been talking about this for weeks and they're coming. I'm so excited. So there are 3 new games coming, which you guys probably already know all this, right? Because you're all subscribed to the Pixels post, obviously. But yes, okay, Thursday, tomorrow at 3 p.m. UTC, which here there's a bunch of other time zones in there. Leon's Neon Zone is getting an upgrade. Okay, there's more stuff coming. So there's a little sneak peek of one of them that's coming. All right, Leon's Hold'em. So very similar, if not the same as Texas Hold'em. So if you know how to play that, you already have a hands or what's that? Leg up? What's that? What's the saying? Here, let's just go with this. You're already a step ahead. Perfect. Yeah, this is really cool. So we've talked about this game. Well, I think Leaky Luke over here has talked about this for way too long because the proof of concept, which was like the very first, almost like draft 1 version of this, if you will, was a very exciting moment for us on the team because making multiplayer games in Pixel's infrastructure, not the easiest thing to do. And this is a multiplayer game of up to 8 users at a time, which is so cool and so incredible. And yeah, so the first version of this absolutely shut down our servers. So it's been iterated on a lot, and it's a very exciting moment for us and for all of you because this is a really fun game that you can play in big groups. And just to be clear, you can play with as little as 2 people or up to 8. So it's not like you have to play with 8 people either, because that would be hard to find probably sometimes. But yeah, this is a really cool game. And yeah, so it's coming out tomorrow. So grab your friends, see who wins. And we have that away. So walk left or stay right. Some of you guys might recognize this game from previous iterations that we did, but this is a really, really fun group game also. And so how it works is you see there's two kind of big circles on the left and on the right, and those pink kind of cube things in the middle move. So sometimes they'll block you and sometimes they'll be open and you can walk through. But how it works is that if you stand on, say, the left side, and when the clock runs out, your side has fewer users on it than the other side, you win. Which is really fun. And once again, this is like a fun multiplayer game. Multiplayer in a different way from the other one, if you understand. But yeah. And then there's also milestones that will be involved. So there's some other fun things that you can unlock along the way. Okay, and then coin flipper. So these little stations are going to be placed, I think, in a few different places around the neon zone. So you have many opportunities to just have a little coin toss, a little coin flip. Okay, so how it works is you click on it and you choose how many zones tokens you want to bet, I guess. And I think it's like 1, 5, and 10 or something like that. If I click on 10 and okay. So usually coin toss would be like heads or tails, right? Of course, it's not in pixels. It's Margaret or Barney, okay? So you click on which, whoever you want to bet on. So let's say I click on Margaret, toss the coin tosses, and it lands on her beautiful face. Then I win double my bet. So I would get 20 zones back. And if it lands on Barney's face, then I would have lost. So it's pretty straightforward, pretty fun. And yeah, so all of these are coming tomorrow. And along with more rewards. Okay, so there's a bit of a change coming. And this is one I want to highlight right here in case you guys missed it. The Vapor Wheel of Fate is spinning its last round on Thursday, obviously, right before the update. An icon of chance, chaos, and countless wins. But don't worry, fate's not gone. Master Zeller brings bigger fortune with guaranteed brand new rewards. Okay, so how it works right now, you guys are probably already familiar with this, but you spin the Wheel of Fate, you get your doubloons, and then you give them to Zeller, and sometimes, a lot of times, you get nothing back, right? So it's all changing. So the Vapor Wheel of Fate will be closed, and Master Zeller will always give you a reward. Now, his rewards come in cute little boxes, as you can see, and there's 6 different boxes here, I believe, and they're filled with tons of different rewards. Okay, so you can read through here for examples of some. Pardon me. But yeah, we still have our pet coupons. We're also giving away some integrated avatars, which is cool. A little bit of this in there. And yeah, there's some good stuff in there. So it will cost 5,000 stuff stubs to just directly work with Master Zeller. Drop rates will be visible also, so you can have all the visibility in there. And yes, Master Zeller will accept your doubloons if you have them. And here's what all little boxes look like. This one's so funny to me. Great. Along with new items, also the redemption, the third dimension redemption shop is getting a refresh with some pretty cool stuff. Guys, water spreader 1000 waters your crops for 24 hours straight. Can you believe it? That sounds like a guild dream. Like you guys just like someone wins that, puts it on your guild map, and you all get to take turns, and it's just like nonstop watering. We love it. We've got some NFT house skins, right? That's very exciting. So we don't have any. There's also spec skins in the boxes, I think. Yeah. So we got spec skins. We also have some NFT house skins, which is exciting, that you can pick up in the shop, and yeah, some other fun things. I will note that shoes are going to be removed from the shop with this refresh. So if you want those shoes, you better go get them right now. Okay, this is a big leak also. It was so funny. I actually drew this little bomb like a few weeks ago. Me and the team were talking about different auras, and I just like whipped together a bunch of little, because it's like 8 by 8 pixels. It's very small, and I whipped together a whole bunch of them. And the bomb one looks, I was gonna say da bomb, but I'm not that cringy, or maybe I am. But it looks it looks so cool. I'm so excited. So yeah, there's tons of good stuff coming to the store. And yeah, good to know. The 48-hour leaderboard setup continues, of course. That away does not have a leaderboard, but it might. We'll see how it goes. Coin Flip and Leon's Hold'em will not contribute to the leaderboards either, because it doesn't really makes sense too. And there is a little bit of a zones tokens rebalance. So we buffed it like crazy to 10, and it's a little unbalanced right now. So it will be going back to 5. So make sure you're going in, or I guess you only have 1 day left, but go in today and buy your 10 while you can. Okay, cool. Obviously we have our AMA. We have fun party happening today also, or did this? Yeah, in 2 hours, which is really cool. And then I actually also have a couple more things to share with you that I don't have written in a post yet, but they will be later today. We'll send out a reminder about the Neon Zone refresh, along with a couple other things. So we are going to have a big community event on Saturday. It's called the Great Seed Frace. So instead of phrase, it's like the C instead of the S. You'll see in the post. It'll make sense. But it's going to be pretty cool. So you can catch your favorite creators racing across Terravilla, hunting down hidden clues to piece together a secret seed phrase that will unlock a wallet filled with juicy treasures. So you don't want to miss it. That will be this Saturday. I think it should start around 3 p.m. UTC, but it'll be in the announcement later, so you guys will have all the information. And there's just one little extra thing, Squish-a-Fish update. So this is actually coming tonight at the refresh time. So it's coming a little earlier than the rest of the changes because it needs to happen at the time that the leaderboards refresh. But Bronzefish will now be -5 points. And the rewards have been buffed a little bit. So that's everything I have for you guys. Did you see any comments, questions that... Oh, you're muted.
Oops. I saw a few related to this kind of stuff, so I'll pull that up.
Okay.
Somebody said, oh, they were worried the left-right one will get botted. This one's a little bit different than previously, right? Like when we had that game roll out the first time, you had unlimited plays, and you weren't risking anything. Here there's like a risk element, so we're not really worried about that. In the worst case scenario, if we're really worried about botting of that particular one, we'll make it negative EV, so you have to kind of like risk, right? What we've found with bots is the bots have a goal, right? And this is it's interesting. I posted something that was like not gaming related the first time for the other day, and what I had posted is like, I don't think people understand. I think you guys in Web3 do understand like how bad bots are on the internet right now. They're all over. They're not just on Pixels or Web3 games. They're also on X, on Reddit. They're everywhere. Now, the issue with a bot is they're really easy to make, and there's no company on earth that can detect them, right? But you can use some first principles and think about, what is the bot trying to do? Like, why is there a bot here? Now, for our game, it's a lot easier than on social media. Like on social media, a lot of these times, these bots have goals that are not monetary. They're like geopolitical. It's kind of crazy. They're maybe trying to like sow discord or like mess some things up. But at least in the game, it's a lot easier to understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make money, right? So if you have a game where you play it 10,000 times and you're always guaranteed to come out without any skill, then yeah, a bot will do that and it'll win. But if there's some skill, some arbitrage element where a player can like still do well, then it's not as much of an issue. So we'll monitor this one. I'm not so worried about the left-right one for that reason. But yeah, the first time it was an issue for sure. What else? Somebody wanted to know a little bit more information about how the spreader works.
Yeah, okay, so you place it down, and there's kind of 2 options. One is automatic, so it's not really an option. It will automatically water every X amount of time. I was literally just messaging our producer being like, how often does it water? So I don't know how often it waters, but it will automatically water once every time period for 48 hours. And then there's also an option for manual watering. So you can like click on it and it will water. And I think there's like a few second cooldown between clicking on it so you don't break our servers or something like that. But so there's kind of 2 options there.
Somebody asked how many Neon Zone auras there will be in total. Do we have an answer for that right now, or should we get back?
Like end game, how many we will release
I think what
ever.
people want to know when we ever release this kind of stuff is like they want to know expected rarity, right? This is a weird part about Web3 games, because you have two options, right? Like a lot of what Web3 games had done early on was they minted everything at the very beginning, and then like there are benefits of that, right? Like we did it with land, where you know how many lands there are, you know the rarities, you can go and decide it, and you can make decisions around that. That's not how most games work at all, though. And there is like this weird thing about that. Like the reason why we introduce these items right now is not because we want to like inflate them or all of that. Like really, we're just trying to create this concept of chase content, right? Like we want content that you guys would want to try to earn, and use the token on. And whenever you guys use the token, right, it's not us like pocketing that cash and like, you know, riding off in the sunset. We have most of that token right now that you guys spend inside of the game going to staking rewards, and some of it gets sent back into community treasury, which is just kind of locked and sitting there. And then some of it is like sent back into ecosystem rewards. If you go and like follow all this stuff on chain, you'll see that we mostly lock a lot of the circulating supply of the ecosystem stuff right now too, because we don't want to inflate the token too much. But yeah, with this one, it's always kind of a balance when we create new content of, you know, making it so we don't make too much, so that it still feels worth getting and like still feels valuable, while also like maintaining the ability to do more so that we can still have like continuous token sinks, right? So yeah, I wish in this kind of chase content we could be definitive with it. If you guys have ideas on a system that would work there, let us
Well, I
know.
can be semi-definitive on this. I can tell you that if we release one, we're not going to re-release it, but we will make new ones. So if you don't like the bomb one, just pass on it. If you don't like them at all, you can pass on all of them. But we will be releasing more. Like I said, I was experimenting with some graphics a few weeks back, and they're kind of hard to make because like they're so small, but they're really fun, and I love them. So yeah, more will come, but if we release one, this is your only chance to get it, at least
So
from us.
I think this is a good conversation about rare items too, and like how we view this. And you know, some people keep asking us to put them on chain, all of this too. So here's what I'm thinking and like where my head is at with this. So one is, you know, certain rare items are maybe like less in demand than they were a year ago, right? Now, why is that? I don't think it's actually like an inflation thing and a utility thing. I think it's a demand side. When you have, we're going to get into economics a little bit, right? Like the price of something is dictated on two sides of things, supply and demand, right? So supply side would be kind of from us, right? When we're creating new items, or even when we're maybe on the supply side is like also, yeah, it's basically us creating new items, right? Like, are we flooding the market with more stuff? Demand side is made up of a bunch of different things. There's this concept of aggregate demand of like, you know, where all the different reasons why you might want something is kind of like added up. And demand can be from one, more players. It can be from like utility of the item. It can be from like expected yield, like all this stuff, right? Now, one of the issues, not the issues, but like one of the realities of Pixels right now is, you know, we decided that we wanted to, you know, pursue like a more sustainable like ecosystem and economics, right? So we started targeting the token to be given out to different people. We're giving less rewards to like straight up extractors, grinders, and we made it harder to bot the game, right? By, you know, paywalling a lot of like core functionality inside of Pixels, right? Like you have to have VIP to use the marketplace, all of that. We knew when we did that, that would decrease player base in the short term, right? Now what we're trying to do is, and this is going to be like a little bit of work to get there, is we do want to start to increase the player base again soon too. And then that ideally has more visibility on items, brings in more demand, right? So there's kind of two ways to, you know, if we wanted to like create demand for items, that we could do it, right? Like we could make them way more useful and make them overpowered. This also has some issues if we just keep making them like more and more overpowered, right? Because then there's power creep that will happen. First of all, if we want to like keep making new items that will be used inside of a game and that you guys would want to use for Pixel. The real solution is what we need to do is we need to start to scale user base again. And that's the harder thing to do. But it's the thing that we need to do to make Pixels work in the long run. Like our goal with Pixels is we want it to be doing 10 million a month in revenue, right? And in order to do that, we probably need, million to like 5 million monthly active users again. And the monthly active users that we would need to get that kind of revenue are probably a different user base than we had originally, like a year and a half ago, right? When we were like at peak DAU, we hit like, 1 million daily active addresses. Probably about like 50% of that user base at that time was bots. We did have a lot of real users. Like if you guys were in the community, you guys know, like there were a ton of real users. Like if you lived in the Philippines, you knew your auntie, your grandma, like all your family was playing at that time, right? Yeah, people can try to deny it, but if you guys were here, But the issue is, we when it came to like return on reward spend, we were like very in the negative, right? And there was a lot of sell pressure on the token, which was not good and healthy for the token too. So you think about our goals. Our goal is basically we want to grow the game, the ecosystem, and top line revenue in a native token, right? Or at least we want to make sure that the native token is taken care of and sustainable in the long run. And in order to do that, yeah, we have to like balance all of these things. But basically, we have to make the game good. We have to make it sustainable. Roars has to be over 1, and then we can start to grow user base. So all of these things, like all of this economy stuff, the in-game items, how many we mint, or like how many we like get out there, like the utility of them, and also what mechanics we like push people towards. Like this is all related in the long term of the game, right? Like it's this crazy web of all this stuff. So this is the kind of stuff that we're going through right now. And yeah, we can go into that a little bit too. So somebody made a little bit of a mean comment, but I can kind of also dig into this too, where they said, can you maybe hire the Stardew Valley guy? Someone who can make fun games. So one, Pixels does look a lot like Stardew Valley on the surface level, right? But you got to remember, it's also a multiplayer game with live economy and real money components to it too. And that changes the way the game is played significantly, right? Imagine if we turned off all the crypto, right? And imagine if we turned off any of the trading, the game would look so different. And we would have a lot more time to focus on all the single player components. Like we would probably start adding in story and make the game look and feel like a lot more like an Animal Crossing or a Stardew Valley, but it would be missing some of the stuff that you guys really like, right? Now, the issue is when you start to add in some of these like real money components into the core game loop, it changes the way that people play the game, right? Like if you like the trading aspect, if you like the earning aspect, that's probably going to be your focus. Like the other stuff is a nice to have, right? But like our differentiator compared to a Stardew Valley is that aspect. And that's why we focus so much on economy, on economics, and all of this stuff too. Like that's the interesting, unique part about this game right now. But we also want to like re-explore some of these things too. Like a lot of what I'm thinking about for core game in the long run, and like here's the game plan of what we're thinking right now. So we have chapter 3 coming out, right? Chapter 3, the ideal situation is we start to add new gameplay that adds a little bit of more of a competitive element, and we use that in combination with like a couple other things to get roars over 1, return on reward spend over 1. Essentially, we want the game to be doing more in revenue than it gives out in tokens every single month. So in order to do that, there's a few different things that we can do with game design, right? Like one of the interesting routes you can go down to get return on reward spend over 1 is add in more competitive elements. It's this method called risk to earn. You're seeing it happen a lot in Web3 gaming. I don't think that's the only way that you need to do it. The other experiment that we're running is going to be with a Pets app, right? And the Pets app, what we're doing differently is we are not financializing the core loop, at least at the beginning stage. And what that means is like we're not going to make it so that when you play the Pets app, you are guaranteed earnings. And honestly, like the point of playing the Pets app is not to earn, but there will be side quests that you can do to earn inside the Pets app. And that'll be a differentiator there. Like making content, like referring friends, maybe even hitting some key milestones with a friend where if like you get a friend to play the game and you both raise a pet to day 30, then we'll give you some earnings, right? And that's kind of this whole offer wall system that we've been building out. Like we want to basically be able to target the right earnings to the right people for the right amount that will lead to positive roars. And ideally, in that situation with the pets game, you're playing more because the game is fun. And if you're spending because you want to spend because the game is fun, right? Now, in core Pixels right now, when the game loop has a lot of like financial aspects to it, the reason why you would spend would be very, very different than a Web 2 game, right? Like you spend because you're trying to like earn more than you spent. Obviously, like obviously, if that's a part of the core loop, then that's what you're going to be doing. Now, it doesn't work if there's no element of competition, right? Because not everyone can win. If everybody wins all the time, then the game won't ever be sustainable, right? And that's how Pixels has been for a long time, which, that's fun and all. But if we want to build something that can stick around for the next like 10 years, do 100 million in revenue and then have like serious token sinks that help the token economy too. Like that's really the main priority here. When we think about like all this stuff working together, it is centered around token, right? Then we need to basically make it sustainable so that it can net burn tokens, and we need to start to scale that net burn too. So when we talk about roars with the core game, what's going to happen is we'll get over like 1 in roars ideally soon, and what that'll look like is like we'll probably give out like 4 million tokens a month and ideally burn like 4.5 million. Like at the beginning stages will be just over 1 roars, right? And that'll be 500,000 tokens that are coming out of circulation, or like basically like 500,000 tokens of like net buy pressure in a way. The ideal situation is we start to scale that, because if we're at positive roars, then ideally the next month we'll be at 5 million tokens given out, 5.5 million. Next month ideally would be like 7 million tokens given out, 8 million burned. So it's 1 million of like net buy pressure on the token. It's a hard path to go down, but that's what we're kind of focused on. And we're making a couple bets at the same time on how to do this and like what the right approach is, right? We have core pixels, we have pixel pets. I think we're gonna call it something else. I'll show you what we're thinking there. And then we have pixel dungeons and whatever else we're publishing and working with too. And then there's a few other routes that we can even go down when it comes to like thinking about the token. Like one of the things that we're thinking about, somebody asked, so many of these things are like, it's such an interesting web, like all these questions, because they all relate to each other and they're all kind of tied. Somebody asked about staking. Any new games for pixel staking? So here's what we're thinking. Honestly, current market of Web3 games that we could be publishing, they're not worth publishing right now. Like a lot of these Web3 games are built with the wrong premise, and we don't think they're going to work. Like even the most successful Web3 games besides Pixels over the last year, like all the ones that you guys know, the amount of revenue that they're making is not very good. It's a result of the market a little bit, right? Like if we were in a good market of Web3 gaming, they would probably be making more revenue. I still don't think these games would be doing it in like a super sustainable way, regardless of where the market's at. And sustainable can mean a couple of different things in that context. Like what you do see sometimes is like, companies like Friendtech or Fantasy Top, like they have like really spiky revenue. Like Friendtech made a ton of revenue in a really short time, but it didn't last for more than like 2 or 3 months, right? Like, there could be some breakout games in a really healthy market that happen like that, but like, will they be able to do that for a year, for 2 years? Current crop of Web3 games, I'm actually quite skeptical. The issue is you need to like probably rethink some of the design, who you're building for, and then some of your user acquisition methods to actually make it work. So we're not actually super bullish on most of the stuff out there, like only the ones that we work with really closely. I am bullish on Sleepagachi. I'm bullish on the Forgotten Universe team and whatever they're doing. I'm bullish on, I'm especially bullish on Pixel Dungeons. Like they're really close to cracking it, and we're working with them closely to do that. And I'm bullish on like the next stuff that we're doing too. The other thing I'm interested in also is Web 2 game publishing. And what's really interesting is, we have this great system for staking where we can like basically still work with Web 2 games and then bring them into Web 3 with the staking system, right? So if we give them some pixel to go out and do user acquisition, and they return, say that we give them $100,000 of pixel to go out and do user acquisition, they make 150,000 US dollars of revenue. We can still use that in this new staking system to distribute revenue to stakers, right? So we can, that would be like $50,000 of profit. We can, send that out as a staking reward, because we can give out USDC in the staking dashboard now, and that's what we're doing. We are actively vetting games with this right now. We want to be careful to make sure that we only bring in good games. So we're developing a Web2 pipeline for this. We're going to be picky, make sure that we only do really good opportunities here. We've been talking to a few. We came pretty close to a few, ended up passing on one recently that we thought we were going to do. But yeah, we want to be careful. So we might even bring on some help for this Web2 publishing side of things. We're getting decent deal flow. I've talked to basically every Web3 game. That's where that's at. The other interesting thing that we can do is, and this all ties in with this, if we start to like work with Web2 games, is we are working on that whole offer system. And somebody asked about that. So somebody asked, when new offers? This is a lot of the work that the team has been doing behind the scenes over the last month or two. We rolled out the first set of offers last week, right? Or maybe it was like a week and a half ago. Very exciting. Now what we need to do is we need to get that flywheel of like getting out offers consistently. So a lot of the team has been working on how can we get, here's basically what we want to do and the end goal of this offer system. This is kind of the core tech of Pixels. We're building out a system that will work with any game. And the idea is we want to be able to give rewards to users in any game. And what we're working on right now is Core Pixels is the first guinea pig, right? We're building this in a way that's really expandable. And we want to make it so that like the rewards that we give could also kind of apply to other games too. So we're working on the whole pipeline on how we can kind of do that. And the plan is we're basically going to be running experiments on almost like a daily cadence with ROAR's optimization in mind. There's a crazy backend that we did there. It's been like a year of work to get the system pulled up. It's not something that someone will easily be able to copy. I know there's other teams that are like talking about reputation and all of this. Like what I'll say is like, I can confidently say we're pretty far ahead when it comes to the back end tech here with all of this. Essentially, we're doing like big data science where we, can give out rewards to specific users, do a bunch of testing, like multivariate testing, if you want to get really nerdy about it. And basically, we're building this black box that will, when we give a reward to a user, decide what user is the best user to give a specific type of reward to. And, we'll be able to attribute exactly what that does for the game. What's interesting is like this will be revenue generating. This actually might even be something that we add into the staking ecosystem too, this product itself. The product will be a standalone product. We're going to call it something like we've been calling it internally Neo, but you're going to see the second time it rolls out most likely in the Pets app. And that's the next thing I'll go through really quickly, like what the plan is with the Pets app, because I saw some questions on that, and then we'll open up into more questions. So somebody asked about the Pets app. I don't see the question, but yeah, somebody asked what we're doing with it. So here's the plan with the Pets app rollout. So first thing that we're going to be doing with the Pets app rollout is it's getting close. The first release candidate for a it's not a public release. It's going to be like kind of hidden in the background, but it'll be technically live at the end of this month. Now, we're not going to do a full go-to-market release. What that means is like not everybody's going to be able to play it. We're testing some stuff still. So we have the app. It's getting pretty good. It's like almost that feature parity with like other comparables right now. And like some of the apps that this app is like, it's like Sush, it's like some other apps out in the market. Like we took some inspiration from stuff out there. We're not doing like, the core game to be like completely revolutionary new. So we want to make sure that it has comparable performance to like other target games in the ecosystem. And the other thing that we're experimenting a lot with is like, what are the things that resonate with users the most? So here's a good example of some of the stuff that we're working on. We're about to start to do like paid advertising on this Pets app. And a lot of what we want to start to experiment with are like, what's the right name for this app? Like, what's the right pet style for this app? You've seen all of you guys have seen that capybara, but like, we don't actually know if that capybara is really like the right type of pet. Like there actually might be different styles of pets that work better. Capybara might be the one that wins, but also like maybe this style actually will like perform with audience better, or will perform with audiences better, right? We don't know what name is going to work best. Like maybe Chubkins is going to be the best name, Chublets, Zubo. We can like ask you guys and like get your feedback. But what we're actually going to start to do is we're actually going to start doing like paid UA campaigns where we actually run ads on all this different like creative copy. And we're going to start to see with like real proof and evidence what works best with a Web 2 audience and like what they respond to most. Now, the other thing that we're thinking about with the Pets app too is what is actually the key differentiator then between our app, even if it's a good app and it like compares with the other apps, and everything else out in the market. And that's where the play to earn and the rewards come in. And this is where this offer system comes into play too. Again, all this stuff is so connected. It's like this crazy web of core pixels, of offers, of pets, of game economy, all these learnings too. But this offer system that we've been talking about, that we're like building to work with any game, we're also going to have it integrated into the Pets app, right? And that's going to be a lot of the experimentation with this Pets app too, and like really what we're trying to do and figure out. Like, can we take earnings and, you know, target them towards or market them towards an audience that does not exist right now, like not just Web3 users but also Web2 users, right? Is there something that will resonate that we've learned about with play to earn that will resonate with a Web2 audience? This offer system is amazing because we can hook up any Web2 game and add earnings in them without the Web2 game having to do the work. Like, we take on all of the lift for them. We help them with the cash out to crypto. We, you know, send them the right offers to the right users. It's an awesome system. We're going to keep it for us and partner games at first. This might be something that we open up to other teams eventually. Or it might be so good for us in this ecosystem that we just keep it to ourselves, right? But this is the other experimentation that we'll be doing too. Like, how can we position what we've learned best, like play to earn and earnings and all this, to a Web2 audience? How can we use that to help the game grow? And how can we use that to like drive a sustainable revenue model that will also, you know, be involved with the token ecosystem? So it's kind of like the insight and what we're thinking. Yeah, very, very, very connected, all of this. Okay, so if they have roars greater than 1, why would they want to take your publishing deal, Pixels, when they want to keep their own revenue and profit? Web2 games all take publishing deals, even if they're potentially profitable. It's like saying, why would you build a business and raise capital if you know it's going to be profitable? I mean, yeah, you could do that. Like, some people bootstrap businesses, but sometimes capital unlocks way quicker growth and gets you in the market way quicker. So games still do that often. Like, even if they're really good games, they'll take publishing deals. And you see publishing deals with like, you know, Activision often, or like other companies. But yeah, most teams don't have the financing to actually do the user acquisition, even the product's good. So there actually is a ton of opportunity there in Web 2. And also, what's interesting is ideally we can help them like grow even better in combination with other things that they do with growth with this like offer model too. Basically, like this offer system that we're building out, ideally it helps them, you know, be even more profitable or have even better roars, right?
I was just laughing at the fly.
Yeah, I see. This is proof I'm outside. People were asking.
Well, maybe you're just really stinky.
Yeah, that's also, I haven't showered in a few days, I'm not gonna lie.
Glad
But
you're alone.
no, this is not a green screen, guys. I'm weird. I'm just gonna say that right now. I am weird. What I've found historically is I do my best work when I either lock myself in a cabin or I like get away from people completely and distractions completely, and I go somewhere weird, and then I can just focus on work. I can focus on like the actual important stuff. And that's kind of the intention of this week for me. I might actually end up doing this a little bit more. I'm not the kind of person, if you want to know more about me personally, that fits in an apartment. If I'm in an apartment, I'll just get a little sad. I don't know. It's funny. I think I'm actually gonna be talking a little bit about this with somebody tomorrow in like an interview format of like early days of Pixels and all of that, and like the circumstances that I was built in. Like, I didn't do this in a normal way. Like, most of you guys on this AMA know this, but like the first version of Pixels I built when I was like in a cabin by myself in New Zealand for 2 months. Like the first conversation I had with a VC, I was living on a sailboat. I would literally be like sailing around, like I was just a crew member, Like I got told and ordered by a captain of what to do every single day, and I had to do the dirtiest jobs. Like the job I normally did was, this boat was kind of a mess. I would have to go under the floor of the boat, and their bilge pump wasn't working, like the thing that takes water out of the boat. That's very bad. If the bilge pump's not working, the boat could sink. But they were like, oh, we have Luke, so we'll just send him under the boat with a sponge and a bucket. And I would do that for like an hour or two a day, where I would just get, it was dark, I would be on my stomach with like 2 feet of room above me, and I would like get a sponge, bring out the sponge into the bucket, like go out there. But yeah, I did that like while building early pixels, right? So it's just kind of like my nature. I do my best work in like weird situations like this. I'm a big fan and believer of like being able to do both, or like being able to do interesting things and still working hard. But yeah, let's that's not a green screen. Yeah, see, I even have a gym. I have a kettlebell right there.
Go pick it up. Come on, do it. Do you have pants on? Make sure
I do have pants on.
Okay, good. Let's see it. This is so funny. Perfect. Proof. There you go, guys.
Okay. So somebody asked.
What was your thing?
I was about to go back into this stuff. Somebody asked. Oh, where was that one? Somebody asked. Some players got new offers, not me. What is the reason? So a lot we're going to start experimenting with. One is like crazy A/B testing. So one, just expect that as we get the system like up and running and even like better and more fine-tuned, every single person will probably get different offers. Now that's not gonna be the case in the beginning stages as we're doing like wider nets and casting like, you know, bigger experiments across like all of Pixels and whatever game integrates the system as well. Like I think Pixel Dungeons might integrate it soon also. And maybe some other teams also that are in like staking ecosystem. But one is we're trying to get data on like, you know, what rewards are the right people to give, like what amount of rewards are like the right rewards to give to the right people. So just expect like completely random stuff to show up basically. Ideal situation is at the end of a system, no one will have the same offers. They'll all be like pretty unique and personalized. Somebody asked for a new user, can I create a new Pixels account and use it for vlogging since I already have one account? They're trying to ask about the multi-accounting rules. What I'll say,
no. You can do this. Just don't be logged into your other account at the same time. Please do this. Would love to see your vlogs about like a new account. Yeah, just don't be logged into both of them at the same time.
Yeah, that also means no trading between accounts, right? Like that is how you'll get caught for like abuse of multi-accounting.
Yeah.
Because a lot of bot farms will do that, or even just like people that are like really abusing multi-accounting, right? Like if you're running like 20 accounts and you're a person, that's still an issue, right?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody asked us about vPixels. So confirming the team, we're going to start to roll out vPixels gradually through the offer system actually. So yeah, some of you guys might start seeing vPixel offers in the next couple of weeks. There's like a little bit of work that we need to do to get it like fully live, but we just tested it in our own like staging environments. It works. It's all integrated. And yeah, you'll start to also get some like potential ways to earn vPixel as well too. And I guess it kind of goes into a conversation about what we're thinking about earnings with, or what we're thinking about with earnings in the long run. Like truthfully, we're debating what we do with the taskboard right now. I think ideally we start to wind down earnings in the taskboard in the long run. We're still not really sure how to elegantly do that, right? So that might be a conversation that I have with you guys in Discord, or maybe on Twitter or X, or maybe like the next AMA about what we do with earnings inside of core Pixels right now. There's a few things that we're thinking and a few like different competing goals. And I'm just going to like, nothing on this part is confirmed yet. We're still kind of thinking through what we want to do. But here's a few options. Like one is we could move all the earnings in the game from taskboard just into the offer system, right? Imagine if we did that. The game would play really differently, right? Imagine if you could only earn coins in taskboard. Or imagine, this is another thing we even talked about. Imagine if we only had you earn Pixel in the taskboard and there was like no coins in the taskboard. So maybe you had to go and get coins from somewhere else. Or maybe what we could do is we move a lot of the earnings in the game into chapter 3 through prize pools. Like if the winning faction wins, then they win big. But like another faction might not win anything, or they might even lose, right? And like have you guys do that, or it might be a combination of like, you know, all these concepts too. But yeah, vPixel is also interesting as well. We'll start to like test it out in the offer system. When we talk about A/B testing, this is a perfect A/B test. Like honestly, what we'll probably do, just for transparency and like so you understand the way that we're thinking, is one thing I really want to know is like how much people value one pixel versus one vPixel. And we'll probably run some A/B tests where we give out pixel rewards to some users and vPixel rewards to some users and see what happens. So yeah, expect some experimentation there. I hope Pets App would be like in Farmville where you can both feed it and when you reach your milestone, you both get rewards. It actually is just like that. What we have to figure out is like how many rewards we would give you for like reaching a big milestone. Like truthfully, when I see some of you people raising a pet inside of Core Pixels right now for a year, I'm like, yeah, that absolutely deserves a reward. That's crazy. So like there probably will be rewards for big milestones like that, even with Pixel, or like some real money rewards too. But also like we're trying to make it so that we avoid people playing the game for that reason or just for that reason, right? I think one of the things I'm looking at a lot lately is like the Pokemon trading card games and the TCGs there, where I actually think in Web 2, that's one of the better examples of like a game that people play because they love it and because there's like potential to like unpack something rare or earn a little bit, right? And I think that would be more of the model that we want to go down, where I think when you're like unpacking Pokemon cards, you don't really expect to earn, but if you do, that's sick, right? But worst case scenario, you have cards that you can play with, right? Like I actually think that's the ethos that we need to get into in Web3 more and more. There's something weird about the Web3 like mindset right now, where like you always have to win, and there's a couple reasons behind that, right? Like one, the game loops are really set up in that way, right? Where like kind of the reason to play is this mindset of like min-maxing, optimizing. Two is like the gameplay maybe isn't where it needs to be either. But also I am a firm believer that the gameplay would feel more fun if it wasn't as financialized sometimes. So you either need to like make the direction decision to financialize the core loop less so that you can actually have the fun parts be the game, or you go and lean way more into the financialization. You have the risk part be the interesting part, or the decision making or the skill part be the interesting part there. What the heck? I thought it was, yeah. So guys, Starlink changed the game. I can literally, it's pretty crazy, right? Like I have an off-grid setup, I have a solar setup. I'm so far in the middle of the desert, like literally hours. There's no one around me for like maybe like 10 miles in a radius. It's kind of nuts. And I literally have everything I need to support myself for like a week here: food, water. I'm just locking in. There's no one to distract me. And yeah, Starlink is really, really good. Maybe this is a Starlink plug. Use my code. I don't have a code.
Do they even give codes?
No, I wish.
I don't think they need to. Oh my god.
Somebody had comments on taskboard stuff, and somebody asked if taskboard will get an update in chapter 3. So yeah, taskboard, again, we're going to change some of the philosophy behind it, but this is what I'm saying. This is yeah, this is this is the tricky part that we need to figure out. So this is honestly more of a discussion with you guys that we need to have. Here's how I feel about taskboard in chapter 3 right now. Like, I think we all know, like, the game as is, it needs to change, right? Right now, how chapter 3 will play if we only just added chapter 3 and we changed nothing else is it won't feel like a big change. Like, it maybe won't even feel like a chapter. It'll feel like a new feature that we added. But if we also use this opportunity to like kind of experiment with how we do earnings inside of the core game to make it a little bit more sustainable, then I think that's the opportunity to do it. And that'll make the game play very differently. Like if we change up taskboard and how you're getting earnings in the taskboard right now, it'll change the way you guys play every single day, like quite significantly. So I think it's the opportunity to do that, but we need to be careful. We need to make sure that we're smart about it and like have some discernment there and like talk to you guys about that too. But that's kind of where I'm leaning because again, if we can get this game into a sustainable spot, then the next step would be port to mobile and then start to make it really, really Web2 like onboarding friendly and start to grow DAU with a mobile companion app.
I mean, you know he's American, right? All right.
Off grid. I mean, I'm off grid in terms of like I'm on solar power.
Not connected to any grids.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone wants you to work out. It's so funny. Okay.
I decided I actually might start just making some like lifestyle content also. We'll see. I have like 1,000 people that probably are from Pixels that have requested access to my Instagram. I'm like, I don't want you guys to know where I'm at. But I think it's fine. Maybe.
I feel you. I don't look at my Instagram requests anymore. It's overwhelming. Okay.
Yeah, somebody asked for more leaderboard games. I would agree. Leaderboards are interesting and prize pools are interesting. That is a pretty sustainable model, honestly. So when we talk about like future Web3 gaming and like some of what we're building, like some of the stuff that we're working on also is like what are the other parts that would be really interesting to a game that's Web2 if they wanted to add in a like real money component, right? Or like prize pools and stuff like that. Like, oh, here's like the crazy thought. It's like how would we make Candy Crush play to earn as is? Candy Crush, I think you can make it play to earn if you had like leaderboards with earnings in it, all of this kind of stuff too. So like that's maybe some of the other infrastructure that we'll add in this offer system in the long run too. That kind of stuff. Somebody said reputation is pain for new players. I agree. Truthfully, long term, I think I'm more bullish about this offer system and like a smart offer system than I am reputation. I think the ideal situation is that we sunset reputation when we can, but we're not there yet. But if this offer system can get smarter, then I think we can maybe even remove the need for reputation.
Okay. 3 more minutes. This went by so fast. I didn't even realize. Lower rep requirement for buying a marketplace. Yeah, it's a fine balance, right? Because bots love the marketplace, adore it. So there's a lot of reasons for reputation being as it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Kieran said, not quite sure if you remove Pixel from the taskboard for coin. I doubt people will do it. And the market price item will be all around the place, especially if crafting costs more than coin given. Yeah, so this is one of the sensitivities, but also like kind of a fundamental issue with the game too, right? So it's something that we do need to solve and think about of like, how do we actually make demand for the items from other elements of gameplay? Like a good example would be if you really needed items in chapter 3 to win, then yeah, you would pay for them or you would like do the task board to get coins to do this stuff too. So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that we want to think through a little bit. This is one of the trickier problems that we need to think through, but it's one of the more important ones too.
Want some Halloween leaks? Not yet, guys. It's September. Everything's still in the kind of like ideation portion stage of for this. Also, Luke doesn't know anything about this, so don't ask him. Oh, I will say though, the amount of Halloween themed UGC submissions that we've been getting. I know I tweeted about this like a month ago. Oh my gosh, they just keep on coming in, and they are so cool. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we had like 100 themed things. It's gonna be so fun, so cool. I'm very excited. Oh, you guys saw my mug from this morning. Like, I'm ready. Are you ready? My little pumpkin with the cat. Look at how cute it is. I'm excited.
All right. Oh yeah, this was I brought up this question. We need another way to burn resources. Yeah, so this is what we're thinking. And like, again, this is why I kept saying the word end game for months and months, and why chapter 3 is a part of this concept. So just the expectation set with chapter 3. Like chapter 3, it's also viewed as like an experiment on our end of like, can we create a new loop inside of the game that does add like some element of competition? And if it works well, and does like burn resources, then we'll like double down on it. We'll keep developing out like even more stuff like this, or make chapter 3 even more polished, or go like even bigger in that direction. In addition to like, you know, probably pursuing the mobile route. But then, yeah, we agree with this. Like, I think this is the key problem here. Like, the only way that resources are burned right now is through taskboard submission and merchant ships. Merchant ships is getting a balance update. I think it's soon. But yeah, and then, yeah, chapter 3 is still good for October. It seems like it's on track. There's a bit of polishing that we need to do. So like functionally, it all works right now. Like a lot of what I'm concerned about and like what we're going to start to focus on is like, it has to make sense for users. Like, I don't want chapter 3 to be something where you have to like watch a YouTube tutorial and then like talk in Discord just to learn how to play it. So that will be the thing that holds up release, like the polish, the UX, and making sure it's easy to understand.
All right, cool. When can creators see who uses their codes? I think we provided this information to the Moku team. So just ping Alriki. I think they can look it up for you. Cool. Great. All right. Any last things?
I think that's all on my end. I mean, this was this is really good. I think we got through a lot today.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, sorry. My dog just had the wettest nose, and I didn't know she was next to me, and she touched my arm. Come here.
Coyote, be careful.
Here she is. There's a coyote. All right. And with that, guys, thank you all for coming out. And yeah, Neon Zone update coming tomorrow. Exciting stuff. I expect to see all you guys in Leon's Hold'em. I was going to call it an arena, but it's its own map, guys. This is not just like you guys are all going to be playing and like looking at the board. It's cool. It's really cool. Okay, we'll see you there tomorrow. Bye, guys.
All right, bye, everyone.